Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Path of Prosperity weekly webinar. Of course, it's education-based. Most of us are now global investor agents on a team, the GIA team, and also some students who are still students in a training program. So good to have you both on board. Welcome aboard. We got a special presentation tonight, not the normal regular education webinar, although there's going to be some education here, but Tom's going to present what's called Legal Shield, and it's a product for any consumer, whether you're just a regular homeowner or if you're a business owner. There's a way you can protect yourself with little cost. I do it myself. I'm a member of Legal Shield. Have been for years, probably decades, because anybody that owns properties, you're going to have to talk to an attorney at some point. It's going to be several $100s. This is, I'll let Tom talk about, this is a fraction of that, and there's way more benefits. So it's definitely something you can use with your clients, something you can use yourself, and more to come. So Tom, if you're ready, I can go ahead and turn things over to you. Everybody on the team probably already knows you, but if you could introduce yourself, and we'll look for Chris to join us here. I'll keep an eye out for that. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Hey guys, Tom Silvestri here from New Jersey, member of the EXP team. Looks like we also got Chris on the call as well. Chris Craddock is also going to join us. He is a guru investor like our leader, Gary. Chris is, he's got a large real estate team. I think he does over 600 transactions a year, and he's got 8 other businesses. He works with investors, and he's also my sponsor over at Legal Shield, and he's a really big believer in this company. So we brought him along to keep me honest and to answer any questions you guys might have that I can't handle. So without further ado, I would love to start this presentation and tell you guys all about Legal Shield. So I'm going to share my screen, hopefully. Host disabled participants from Gary. I think you need to allow me to share my screen. It says host disabled screen sharing. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, you guys, Gary, can you hear me?
Tom, it looks like it said that you're a co-host now, so you probably can do it now.
Oh, okay, good. I think you're right. Okay, perfect.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
hopefully that you guys can see my screen now. Can you guys all see it? I think you can.
Yep.
All right, great. Thank you for that. So let's get on with this presentation, okay? Legal Shield, okay? So Legal Shield is an awesome tool for you guys all to have. It really adds value to you as a realtor, and your clients are going to love it, and your investors are going to love it, and you're going to love it. So really, Legal Shield is all about helping those people with opportunities. And really, to explain this, how it works, you really have to understand disruptive technology. So when I was younger, I used to go to the mall to buy my clothes and stuff, and I would buy records, later cassettes, and then 8-track tapes, and eventually CDs. But I went to the record store. But now that's all been changed. Disruptive technology has come through. Jeff Bezos, who's going to be the next first trillionaire of the world, brought us Amazon, and it's simpler, it's easier. You just click a few buttons and you have stuff delivered to your house the next day. And the same thing with Spotify. It's just amazing. What if we could do the same thing with the legal system? And that's exactly what Legal Shield has done. I mean, typically the legal system has been saved for the elite people and people who have lots of money, and those people really get justice. But the average Joe is not getting that. They don't have the ability to have a $10,000 a month retainer with a large law firm to handle any kind of problems they have. But this can bring this to you and to your clients. So let's explain it a little bit. Legal Shield has been a company that's been around for about 50 years. They've got over 4 million people using it, which is just a fraction of the total population. I think it's about 3%. So it's just the tip of the iceberg of people are using it, although they've been around 50 years. They're in 50 states, and they're even in many of the provinces of Canada. This company is not a fly-by-night company. It's been accredited by the Better Business Bureau. It's got a very high rating, and it's been endorsed by all these major companies like Bloomberg and Forbes. So you could rest assured it's a serious company. So what can you do with it, right? I mean, what can you do with it? As a realtor, I'm going to try to give you real estate or investor type of scenarios, but there's tons of other ones. Real people have real problems, and that's when they need a lawyer. So let's say if you're in a state where, not like New York or New Jersey, where an attorney is there for you at the closing, but the real estate agent or the title company is doing the legal work. You're kind of in a bind, and so you want to be able to help your clients through these issues. And these are just a couple of issues I'm going to kind of go over. Like, for example, let's say you go to a closing, and at the last minute, your buyer doesn't show up. They're playing a typical negotiation game. At the last second, they don't show up at the table. Wouldn't it be great if you could just push a button, get an attorney on the phone, and they could strong arm them and get them to where they need to be and to honor their agreement to be at that table? We'll talk about landlord and tenant issues a little bit later on in the presentations, but how about this one? How about who's not had a home warranty or an insurance policy, and you put in a claim, and just like health insurance, they give you a runaround and they're just not paying out. With Legal Shield, you get your attorney on the phone, you explain the scenario. They're either going to send a letter to that insurance company, but they're going to fix that problem, and it's going to get taken care of right away. What about this one? You've closed on your house, or your tenant, your client's closed on their house. All of a sudden you realize there's a huge problem. Maybe it's a main line that's going out to the streets broken. It's been existing for a long time. It wasn't disclosed. What do you do? Legal Shield could help with these issues as well. There's just a whole bunch of issues. A lot of times you move into the house and they moved out in a rush. They damaged the walls. You didn't notice it before the closing. The house is dirty. What do? Legal Shield could step in here and help with these issues too. So the way it really works is you kind of get an app in the back of your pocket, and that allows you to get in touch with the law firm. You could click on a button on your phone, and you're going to have an entire law firm at your fingertips, and they can help you with a number of different issues, personal issues. If you need a letter drafted, you name it. If you push this button down here, any kind of contract you have, you could just take it and zip it up, and they'll review it for you. What you could use it for is I've got a bunch of contracts that are pre-made contracts you could download from their website. You could tweak them. Let's say you want to start making money renting your garage out, and you don't have a great contract for that. As an investor, you can tweak that contract, put in the terms you think that are right, send it off to the attorney, and they'll take a look at it and tell you if it's good or bad. This one's pretty powerful. They'll assist you with a tax attorney for IRS audits. Most of us, I used to be a CFO and an accountant. I can tell you, when you file a Schedule C, you're at a very high risk for audit. And so wouldn't it be great to have a tax attorney represent you on those type of audits should they happen? Hopefully they never do. So this button here is an amazing one. I know all of us are in our cars driving all the time. I get pulled over left and right. Just the other day, a few weeks ago, actually, I was driving from my town. It was time the school was starting. Kids stepped into the crosswalk, 1 foot on the street, 1 foot on the curb. Cop pulled me over. It was like they set up a trap to make money for the town. I got this ticket. I called up Legal Shield. They made me take a picture of the ticket. They're going to represent me. The guy says 99% sure he'll knock it down, and I will not have any points on my license. That's incredible. I've got 2 adult children. I used to pay $2,000 for automobile insurance. I'm paying $5,000 now with no tickets, no accidents. To have somebody to help me through this is amazing. And better than that, from what I understand, if you get a ticket in another state, so you're traveling, well, they got lawyers in 50 states. So they'll just get a lawyer from another state to represent you. You don't have to go back to that state. It's just taken care of. You don't have to spend time out of your schedule to go to court. It's just done. It's a nice little feature. This one is another button, which is pretty amazing. It's an emergency button that you or your clients can use at any time. Let's say you get pulled over, it's 2 a.m. There's a mix-up, your car has the same make and model of something that was just stolen. Well, you push this button. I would first tell the officer you're about to reach into your vest and take your phone out. But you push this button, and there's an attorney 24/7 on the phone. They're gonna come out and talk to you, tell you what to do. 9 out of 10 times they'll talk to the police officer and help you through the situation. Or worse yet, what if you got kids and they're at a party and a situation occurs where they're in a predicament? Kids are just going to start talking and doing stupid things. I mean, you could give this app to your kids. They're included on the policy. They can push this button and be protected. This one here is the game changer. It's really a lost leader because the company does not make any money on this. You can have them prepare for you a will, a living will, a healthcare power of attorney, and a financial power of attorney. I've done this. I prepared these 4 documents for myself, for my wife, and I also did 2 for my 2 adult children. God forbid something happens to your adult children and they're incapacitated. The hospital is they're not going to talk to you. The privacy laws will not allow them to share that information unless you get a court order. And by then it could be too late. So the attorney, when I talked to him about all these documents, he strongly recommended getting these for my kids. I got 8 documents for my wife and I altogether and 2 for my children. That's 10 documents. In New York and New Jersey, where legal fees are really expensive, it would cost you somewhere around $5 grand. This alone, it paid for 10 years of prepaid legal shield for me. So for the next 10 years, I consider the thing I have paid for. Beyond that, you get a huge discount. About 80% of all legal matters are kind of covered with the plan, but not everything's covered. So if you become bankruptcy, or if you have to go through a divorce and it's contested, it's like the War of the Roses, and you got to go to trial. It's not going to be covered. A non-contested divorce, they'll cover, but a contested, they won't. And this is a big one. For all of us who are out there as realtors, if you ever get pulled over, you had a couple of glasses of wine and you get a DWI, although this is not covered, you're getting a 75% discount. If you get found guilty of this, you lose your real estate license. So, I mean, it's just really important to have that kind of coverage. So who's covered with Legal Shield? It's you, the member, your significant other, your children that are under 26 years of age or full-time students. So, your whole family pretty much. So I ask you, with all those benefits, and I could tell you, when I was a CFO, I used to pay over $1,000 for attorneys at times. And I could tell you, I've gone through the bills because that was my job as the head accountant. I've been taken out to lunch by attorneys, charged for the lunch, and then billed for the time. I mean, they just like hitting the clock, these guys. Would you rather pay a lawyer on average $200, $250 an hour, or would you rather just sign up for Legal Shield? It's $24.95 a month, and you get access to an entire law firm at your fingertips. I could tell you, Gary asked me to look into this. I thoroughly vetted it. I called them up 4 or 5 times. I had my will done. I was extremely pleased with the service I got. It's just an awesome thing. Now, the other thing Legal Shield offers is something called identity theft. Identity theft is really become an important thing. I know in real estate, we've heard of lots of crazy things. They've gotten into like getting into the title companies and wiring the escrow money to the crooks. I personally get called by the IRS a couple of times a week. The Social Security Administration's calling me. Let's face it, our identities they've been stolen. Every Fortune company almost has been purged. They've been hacked. The government's been hacked. Experian, one of the 3 credit bureaus, has been hacked. Your information's out there, and a lot of damage can be done. But worse than that, what do you do? Sorry about that. I'm kind of losing control of this thing. What do you do if your client is not qualifying? They've got credit issues, and they can't qualify for a mortgage. I tell you what you do is you first sell a Legal Shield to your lender, okay, and then your lender can use Legal Shield to clean up their credit. Not only is your lender going to be happy because you're giving them some business, but now your client is going to be happy, and you're going to have them back and have the ability to buy a house quicker than later. And what about your clients who own houses? It's the largest asset they've got. I mean, wouldn't it be a great benefit to be able to provide this kind of service to them? You can present it to them when they go into escrow. If you're in one of the states, I think, that don't have attorney representation through the closing, or if you are one of the states like I am, you could go to them after the closing and present it to them. And you know what? It's an easy talk. You just tell them, hey, you just closed on the biggest asset in your life. You've got kids. Do you have a life insurance policy? You'd be surprised. 9 out of 10 people don't. And then you just give them the whole spiel on Legal Shield. And if they want it, great. If they don't, you can just easily change the conversation to, hey, do you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? So Identity Shield is just a really great product for us too. It protects us in a lot of different ways. Let's talk about how it can protect us. First, you get another app. And this app is monitoring. It's monitoring all of your credit agencies, your social security number, your passport, your driver's license, your medical information. It's searching the dark web. It's searching social media. It's looking at all of these things to see if the things are going array. And then it's doing other things like if somebody's kind of stole your identity, they're gonna like put public records out on your stuff. They're gonna put like stuff on your mortgage and stuff like that. They're gonna be checking those things. They're gonna be checking to see if there's a sex offender who's moved in your neighborhood. They're gonna be scanning social media. They're gonna be doing just a whole bunch of things. I'll tell you, I've looked at all the other companies like Lock, Shield, and all those other guys. They don't do half of the things, and they don't resolve the problems as quickly. Not only do they do all that, but they're gonna look at your credit cards, your investment accounts, your 401k accounts, just a ton of stuff. And if anything gets crazy, they're going to let you know about it. And although people can still hack you, they can't stop people from stealing it. If it happens right away, you can fix it and your credit will be fixed. And that's the key thing. And they're going to give you $1 million worth of insurance to protect you against that. And they're going to they're going to give you a private investigator to help do whatever it takes to solve the problem should something happen. So it's really more than just all that. What I like most about this is some of these features. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm talking with my wife and I got my phone near, I don't know, my phone is listening to me. And I tell you why it's listening to me, because you go through a lot of these websites and you click accept to their agreements, and you're agreeing to let the phone listen to you, and they do. I mean, we were just talking about taking a vacation to Bali a couple days ago, and sure enough, the next day I'm getting ads for vacations to Bali. I don't want my phone listening to me. Legal Shield's going to look into this and kind of help you turn off some of these things so that they're not listening to you. What I like best as a real estate agent is this thing called reputation management. If you guys have ever seen that television show 24, they use facial imaging to search through the criminals really quick. Legal Shield's doing that for your social media. It's constantly going to scan social media for your images. So let's say you went to a bachelor party or you went out drinking with your friends and there's some embarrassing pictures taken of you. You don't want your brand messed up. They're going to let you know that picture's out there and you can get rid of it. I've heard lots of stories who've they're not getting referrals anymore because one damaging picture was out there. So it's real important to have something like this to look out for you. So yeah, they're looking through all these social medias. They're giving you a reputation score. They're doing it for your children too. I can't tell you how bad social media is for kids. The kids used to know who the bully was. He was the mean kid on the playground. You know, nowadays they hide behind avatars and they're stalking your children. And this Identity Shield can help you with all these things. Let's see. So here's the best thing. The will, for me, paid for 10 years, but if you get Legal Shield and Identity Shield, it's around $55 for a family and $40 a month for an individual. But there's these perks, membership perks. They're like American Express membership perks. So like if you want to buy a new automobile for your real estate business, they'll give you like employee discounting. You can get a Chrysler or whatever at employee discounting. If you need to go to get a cell phone plan, they give you AT&T or Verizon. I've seen 10% off those. What you could do is once you sign up your clients, you go and you hook them up with these membership perks, and you could eliminate this almost completely, in some cases all the way. One thing I know a lot of realtors are doing is they're using the food coupons. You can get these $25 gift cards at restaurants for $6 or $8, give them away as closing gifts, or just, give them to friends or use them yourself. Even movie tickets, discounts on movie tickets. So there's lots of perks here. You can use those and eliminate this fee completely. And the best thing is if you're signed up and you're selling Legal Shield, your client's getting it for nothing if they use the perks properly and you help them to use them perfectly, and you're getting commission on all the stuff. It's just amazing. So I couldn't not talk about investors since that's what we all do. So how can investors use this? This is just taking a screenshot from the Legal Shield screen, the website. But like I told you earlier, you can draft agreements, tweak them, and send them back. But let's say your tenant's not paying, or your investors' tenant's not paying. You can have a lawyer send a letter out to them on legal letterhead and get that taken care of. They get a legal letter. Believe me, they're paying their rent if they can, if they're working. I mean, you're getting complaints from neighbors of loud music, or maybe there's a fence in the middle of the property that fell down and no one's taking care of it. Legal Shield could help you with that. Let's say your tenant damages your property. They can assist with that. You need help with evictions. There's some security issue problems. They'll help with that. Now this is a rider for this. So this costs an additional $9.99 a month, I think. Chris will keep me honest on that. I tell you, if you just send out one letterhead, legal letterhead to get some debt collected, you paid for over a year of it, and the rest is all gravy. So investors really love this. They really do, because I mean, they may have their own law firm that they use for big matters, but this could be covering a lot of little things and take care of them quickly. So who's covered under Identity Shield? It's everybody except kids only up to age 18. And if it's an individual plan, it's just yourself. So the market's ready for this. Obviously, everybody thinks lawyers are paying too much. I'm included in that number. 90% of the people would sign up for legal insurance. 9 out of 10 people say that the costs were affordable, they get it. And 60% of the people reported that they would be interested in purchasing legal protection. And the great thing is only 3% of people have it. So it's like, there's a huge market and a huge opportunity. So here's the thing: you're helping your clients, you're helping yourself with your real estate business, you're helping your family. But how can you make money with it, right? We all like to make money with it. So there's lots of ways to make money with it. So let's talk about that for a second. First of all, by word of mouth and team building, you can make a ton of money, but you can make money 4 different ways. One, by personally enrolling your investors. I mean, if anybody's joining or starting an investor group, there's lots of people there. You can go to people at church, anybody, The second way is by building a team, like a real estate team, and people under you get overrides. And I'll show you a little bit of how that works in a second. And the best of all is residual commissions. And everybody who wants to work with investors or wants to invest in real estate is interested in getting a residual income stream. They want that rental income to come in so that they're making money at night while they're sleeping, while they're on vacation. There's money coming in. Well, when you sell a plan for Legal Shield, you're getting paid on that every month. And if the client keeps that for 20 years, like Gary's had it for 10 years, you'd be paid every month for 10 years on it. And if you have team members, you're making overrides on all of that money for as long as those people have those policies. And that's really powerful. And that's where the big money can come in. And it's just awesome. And then there's bonuses and incentives, and they're just huge. I mean, they can if you do things right, you can make almost in bonuses and incentives as you can in regular commissions. So how does it really work? If you're selling both the Legal Shield and the Identity Shield to a family, and you first sign up, you're getting paid $110 a year. If you're an executive director like Chris, you're getting $300 for every policy you sell. Now, if you sign people up, and they're an associate, and you're an executive director, you're going to make override of $198. So you make the delta between the next level. So if you're a manager, you're going to make $22, and so on and so forth. So that's how the override works. The bonuses are amazing. If you sign up 2 people in 20 days and get an associate, they give you a $100 bonus. And if you make manager in 45 days, they give you and your sponsor $750. And if you make senior manager in 90 days, you make another $750. So that's how the commissions work. But really, you can sell this just to your clients if you're not into building a team. People do that and make tons of money as well. But if you wanted to build a team, that's really where you can really leverage this thing and make a lot of money. And if you can get 30 associates signed up, and that's not too challenging, you could probably do it in 6 months. And each of those are starting to sell 5 plans a month. Guys, you're making $8,000 a month. That's 100 grand a year in just side money. And it just grows from there. And that's just the power of leveraged income. But the real power is in residual income. I got to tell you, making money while you're on vacation is a great thing. So who can you sell this to? You can sell it to, you could sell it to your investors and they'll love you for it. If you have a realtor show a house for you, you could try to sell it to them. Whenever you sell, if you're a real estate agent and you're showing a home, you could show it to that listing agent. You could show it to people in your offices, team members in other offices you might have worked for, local meetings, conferences, or just your friends. Your vendors are great too, like lenders, like I just told you, mortgage people, people in your investment club. And so for each and every member you sign up, and your team signs up, you're getting paid, and you're getting paid monthly for as long as that member has got their policy, just keeps coming. And that's the beauty of and the power of residual income. And so you could be hanging out like this dude over here on the beach and making money. It's just an amazing thing. Or you could just be going out to dinner and be making money. They also have Performance Club. If you reach certain milestones, they take you away on a prepaid vacation. Everything's included. It's pretty amazing. So I hear. And how much does it all cost to join? This is the best part. It's $99 to join. You pay once. You don't have to pay every year like your real estate dues. You own your own book of business. It's willable. God, I know one of my friends, their sister passed away. It was really sad, but she was an insurance person. No one knew. She had a $4 million book of business that they inherited. I mean, it's the power of this thing is amazing. It's a great thing. So that's the deal. What tools do you need to run it? I mean, typically to run a side business, you need all these things. GoDaddy for a website, a QuickBook to account for it. And they say it comes to $200. Legal Shield will give you 2 very powerful apps that can run everything. They're custom made, they're beautiful, for $20 a month. The first month's free, and you don't need these, they're optional. If you really want to make money, it's recommended you get them, but you definitely don't need them. And so that's the deal. The track record speaks for itself. All sorts of people are doing it and making a ton of money. This guy over here happens to be, I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn, Chris's sponsor. He's a real estate agent. He made $250,000 his first 15 months. I think he's on track to making almost $700,000. This guy here, another real estate agent, is making millions. His name is Brian Carruthers. But all sorts of people, especially people in the sales industry, really do well. It's just natural. It's just a natural thing for a salesperson and a real estate person to sell. So what are the next steps? I mean, the next steps are for you to enroll and contact me. You can give me a call after the meeting, or I can call you and we can sign you up, and you can become an associate and get trained and start making money. And I'd love it if Chris, but by the way, 2 people have joined already in our team, Sean Ritchie and Mo, and they're going to be working with you as well. And you could feel free to call them up and ask them how it's been. But I'd love if Chris could jump on and give us some examples, because he's been doing this for a little bit longer than I have, and he's got a lot more experience with it. So Chris, can you say a few words?
Sure. Yeah. Tom, I thought you did an awesome job. Thanks for sharing. And I went through everything. So that was great. Yeah. The only things I would add to it is just as investors, I think it's just such a no-brainer. Bottom line is every single investor that you're going to work with is going to have some questions about contracts or tenants or contractors or whatever, some issues somewhere. And if they're like I have been at times in my life, I'm like, oh man, this looks about right. I think this is right. I should probably talk to an attorney, but I don't want to pay $250 for a billable hour. This is okay. And when you realize that you can have that for 25, or if you have the business right, or $35 a month, you can talk to an attorney. I mean, literally, I could call an attorney and talk about like my child if I want to, like I could talk for 4 hours about whatever I want, and it's all included. The other piece is, if you're like I am, I know most entrepreneurs tend to move fast, drive fast, do all the other stuff. I just got a ticket, and I hate saying how much we're recording, so I'm not going to say how far over I was going, but I'll just say it was a 55 that dropped down to a 40 mile an hour zone. And so I was going a lot faster than I should have. And yeah, basically it could have been a reckless driving ticket. Thankfully, they I just literally just go to the app, took a picture of it. The attorney asked if I wanted to go to court. I said, I'd prefer not to if I don't have to. He just went to court. The whole thing got thrown out. He got everything thrown out. And all I had to do is do my online driving school. So it's just great. And then the other side is, I'll show you this. I don't know if it comes up, but I've been doing it. I guess it's about 8 months now. I've had the service for about a year, but doing about 8 months now. And there's a couple different things that's really, really cool. This is just my bonus number right here. My background doesn't let me do it, but $15,308 just for my last quarter bonus. This one right next to it, my friend Aaron, he's less than 2 years in, his third quarter bonus. He just sent me a picture of his check. It was $66,228.75 as a side, like it's a side business. And that's what's crazy. It's like half an hour a day. And you can make a fortune with this. And especially since we're all work with investors, this is a blue ocean. Every investor should have an attorney. I work with, the last thing I'll say is I'm friends with a number of these guys that have these investment, like teaching similar, like Wholesaling Inc. and some of these other places where they teach. One of the first things they tell all of their students, like they give a step-by-step how to invest. One of the first things they say is go get an attorney. Go find an attorney. That's like the first thing that they tell all of their clients, all of their students to go get an attorney. I'll tell you what, we can tell somebody to go get an attorney and it's $25 a month. That's nothing. It's nothing. So anyway, I don't want to like go crazy pitching it, but for me, I just feel like it's a no-brainer, and it's just been a big blessing to me and my family with, just a small amount of time. Literally adding another, I'm probably gonna make like 165 grand this year on top of what I'm doing for about half an hour a day. I just feel like it's the biggest no-brainer in the history of time. So that's it. If anybody has any questions or anything, Tom has, done an awesome job, but I'm also here to help if I can help in any way.
Okay. Well, tell you what, guys, and Chris, don't go anywhere, Tom, to go anywhere. Hey guys, y'all know over the years, I've had literally hundreds of properties, and I don't even count, thousands and thousands of tenants. And I did great first couple years, not a single blip or legal problem or court case, but it's going to happen. It did eventually happen. And I had Legal Shield because my personal family attorney told me, he said, you know what, you're going to get real busy with these, and you need to have Legal Shield. It was been around since 1973. I know Beverly Miller's on. She's had it for 30 years. But what I'm getting at is here is for that small monthly fee, and I'm not in the sales end of things. I'm a customer of Legal Shield. And I'm telling you, as a customer, everybody here is working with investors. They should have this because they're going to have a legal problem at some point. It's going to happen. It's a mathematical certainty. When you start building wealth and income, the world has a way of finding out. And there are people out there, unfortunately, a lot of them are tenants, that want some of what you've got. And they're going to think, well, Mr. Wilson, he doesn't need any more money. That guy's filthy rich. Well, the only way you're going to make money is to rent your units out, and they'll decide I don't have to pay rent. Next thing you know, you're going to court. And if they get what's called neighborhood legal services, they don't have to pay for that. It's free to them. In fact, guess who pays for that? We do, taxpayers. So they get to go to court with a free attorney. You show up trying to represent yourself, you're going to lose. They know the rules of the game, and you don't. So this is going for your clients too. So make sure you encourage them to have this. Now, from a business standpoint, the other reason I like it is this: it fits in with our model of networking and making sure we provide these other valuable resources to our clients. I don't do this for everybody. This is only the second time I've done this with the group. Shannon was the first time, Tom's the second time, because it's not only important, it's necessary for your clients. When you form your global investor group, we've now to 24 global investor groups around the country. So Chris, you're getting a little bit of background intel here. I've got 13 investor groups I've created myself. We're now 24 that I'm teaching my team members how to create around the country. We're not competing with RIA, which is a different format. It's educational, so this fits in perfectly. All those people can buy Legal Shield for themselves, right? And then think of all that potential downline networking going on there, right? So and just true to my nature, I choose to not participate financially in this. And our team, I leave it up to a team member. In this case, it's Tom, followed by Mo and Sean. Okay. So I encourage you to protect yourself and definitely help your clients protect themselves too. And a little side note, Chris and I know each other from the world of podcasting. I interviewed with one of our mutual friend. We interviewed each other, in fact. And then Chris called me up. This was back in the spring. And I knew right away he was a brother from another mother. So same thing, investor, runs a big team, has a training program. And so Chris, I know you're a busy guy, and I really appreciate you stepping up to the plate and coming in to help out here, because I want my team members to take these opportunities to learn and grow and develop personally. And I know that you've obviously done a lot more than Tom. So so I appreciate you being there for Tom. Tom, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. This is Tom's first time out doing this presentation, guys. So this is one of the benefits of being on the team, is I open up the network to you. So I don't just do this for any old person. Chris is a special guy, and we probably got a lot more to work to do together here in the future. But in any case, guys, hey, lots of questions coming in. Chris, if you and Tom could take these questions, there's at least 7 of them out there. Let's keep this going as long as people are engaged, and give them instructions. Tell everybody what to do. You know.
I'm looking for the questions.
So the attorney question, is there a copay for attorneys? For like my ticket, there was no copay on that. 90%. And Tom, if you go back a couple slides, I think it said which ones. It was asking if there's a wait. There's a 90-day wait on just a couple items. Immigration, if you're dealing with, I know that in the Latino world, it's been a really, really, really big selling point, because there's a lot of folks that get help with immigration status on this. And this, after a 90-day wait, they'll help with immigration status. So that's a big, big piece. I've got a lot of friends in the Black community right now, like a lot of friends that are selling it like hotcakes, just because of, I don't want to get political at all. And this isn't a political statement, but I'll just say there's a lot of fear on a lot of different sides of everything right now. And the idea that if somebody is pulled over by a police officer, that they could call their attorney at any point in time, 24 hours a day, has been a thing that a lot of people have been very excited about. And so, so no political statement whatsoever intended on that. And so that's a huge thing. Tom, did you see some of these? I'll read through some as well. Did you see some you wanted to answer?
I'm trying to find out where the questions are. They're in the chat box. Okay, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just opened it now.
On the Q&A piece, there's one that says, can you call an attorney and ask them to show up in court on your behalf? So depending on which service you get, I have the top service for 2 of my companies, 1, my real estate company, and 2, my portfolio of investments, my LLC there. And I decided to get the top service, and that service, if anybody sues you, and I've been threatened to be sued a number of times, anybody that does a lot of business, that just will happen, even if you're in the right. I'll tell you the last one, we're building a house, in an equestrian facility, and we put on there that they could have up to four horses while we were working on the permits and everything. They could have up to 4 horses there. They brought 10, destroyed our property. Literally, we're going to have to pay thousands of dollars to kind of have a new top coat put on the ground. And because it's just, you're rolling ankle if you just run in the field. They just destroyed the property, and we weren't going to give them back the security deposit. They threatened to sue us. And it was a no-brainer. It just would have been a headache to go to court. I just said, hey, I've got an attorney on retainer. You can talk to him. They talked to him. And I was like, and I don't pay a cent if you want to go to court. So, that's fine if you want to do it. And as soon as they talked to my attorney and realized that I don't have any money out of pocket, the attorney's just going to go cover it, they decided it wasn't worth going to court anymore. And it was done. So that was great. And that's part of the reason why I do it with my rental portfolios. And I think that's an easy pitch if you're working with investors that are buying rentals.
Yeah, someone had asked if they're if they're available immediately. And in most cases, as Chris said, they are. There's a couple of exceptions, and we can look those up for you. If you have specific questions, just ask me. And someone wanted to know if they're in all the states. They are in all the states. But I will say this, the first thing they're going to do is ask you, who's the other person? Because if it's a conflict of interest, lawyers can't represent you if they represent both parties. So they'll sub it out to someone if they can't do it.
Yeah. So you'll definitely get represented, but it may have to be with a different one. But and here's the cool thing: in 48 of the 50 states, there's a long waiting list. So the attorneys are getting better and better and better and better every single month, because the second they don't get good reviews, they fire them and bring in somebody else. And this is a massive client. So imagine if you got like the biggest builder in your area, you'll probably sell their listings at a discount, which is what they do. But man, you're going to take the best care of them ever because of the massive volume that they send you. And so that's kind of the way it works. It works with this. The concealed carry, yeah, there's a gun owner's permit. I've got, I carry as well. And yeah, there's a gun owner's permit that will represent you if there's any issues with firearms.
The other thing we should tell them is about that $150 program to start up a company. It's a great if you want to start an LLC, or if you have a client who's looking to open up a business. You want to describe that to them, Chris?
Oh yeah, this is one of the best things ever, especially if you're working. So I have an investor seminar tomorrow. I'm probably going to have like 40, 50 people on it. It's always one of the best ways to get business for me, because HGTV has made investing in real estate sexy, right? Like it's really cool to invest in real estate. So everybody wants to invest in real estate. So when you put that out to your sphere, you're going to get a lot of people. And it sounds like Gary's already has you guys, building those out. Well, the best thing is most of these investors, like when I put it out to our sphere and our team sphere, most of these investors have never really invested in real estate before. And so one of the first things they got to do is create an entity, an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp, whatever they decide to do. LLCs are probably the easiest. But Legal Shield has a launch program where they'll create your entity, an LLC or an S Corp, whatever you want to create. They'll create your entity with your entity docs, everything. And they'll give you 3 months, 90 days worth of service, legal service for $150. So it's a no-brainer. It's nothing. It's so much less than an attorney would normally charge. They actually lose money on this. It's a loss leader for them. So that's the whole thing, that they'll lose money, and but they'll do it because everybody that signs up for the program with that, they love it. If you have multiple LLCs, yeah, you do have to sign up the different ones. I have different ones signed up with it for that. Yeah, they'll file the documents. They'll do the whole thing for you.
I think they give you a tax ID number too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah. They'll do the whole shebang. Let's see. All right. Yeah. It's on all 50 states. They have attorneys everywhere. Is there a waiting period? Can I buy Legal Shield and use it tomorrow? Yeah, you can, except for there's just a couple exceptions. You can purchase Identity Shield and Legal Shield separately. You don't have to do the whole thing. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Do you have to sell it? So I just had the membership first, and then I used it. So I had a hairy probate case for one of my clients that I used it with. I had my own ticket. I had I had a couple things that I used it for, and then that's when I decided to sign up. And it's funny because one of a guy who was a mentor to me, and now he's a pastor of a church. He said that I was mentioning it to him, and he's like, "Man, I have probably signed 30 people up for Legal Shield because my wife got it as a benefit from her work all these like 9 years ago, 10 years ago, something like that." He's like, "I probably signed up 30 people. He's like, "I had no idea I could sell it too." So that's one of those crazy things and I normally don't like MLMs. I just don't like them for a lot of reasons, but so I stay away because I want to sell one thing, not everything. And so, but this was one of the first times I really had my eyes opened, because like and if it's Amway, and no offense to anybody that does Amway, but you're not going to see anybody selling the Amway store if you don't sell Amway. Like that just doesn't happen very often. With Legal Shield, I think it's like 98%. It's like 97.3% of everybody that has Legal Shield does not actually sell it as well. So, and most of them don't even know that you can sell it. And that's the other thing. If you're selling to your clients, like everybody that buys a house should have a will. Like it's a no brainer. Like you should have a will. So you tell them about this, sign it up, but don't sell them on the MLM right then. You call them back 4 months later after they've used the service. They love it. They got a $1,500 will for $24.99 and they're loving everything. Yeah, call them back after that, and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We'll get to, let's see. How about this? Hope eviction 3-day notice. You have multiple LLCs. You have to sign up for all of them. Do they file documents? I think we got them all. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that we answered the eviction one. I think it's different in every state. I know in New Jersey, it takes months to evict somebody. It just depends on the state you're in. Some states it's really easy. So it really would depend on the state you're in, and you'd have to find out what they could help you with.
Well, most states do have a right to notice. I think the question might be more in more progressive states like New Jersey and California. They're trying to pass legislation where landlords can't put in a waiver of the right to notice in their lease. That's what I do. My lease is I put a waiver in so the tenant waives their right to a right to notice. Some states are saying you can't do that. Crazy, but that's part of what's going on. So I don't know if Chris, is that more along the lines of your question? Because by the way, quick note here. Anybody that has rentals right now, if your rent isn't in on the day it's due, and I'm telling you, I'm living proof. I used to be Mr. Nice Guy, and I'd listen to all the stories. Every single time I tell you, you'll be glad you filed on time. You could tell them if they want to pay, they can meet you at the courthouse and be there before you file. But file, okay? Because if you don't, you're delaying the clock, you know? And a quick note, one more quick follow-up note. Everybody's seeing on TV, they don't have to pay rent and they can't get evicted. That's not true. You know, if someone has the ability to pay rent, they still have to pay rent, virus or not. We have a police officer on our team, and he told me they're still evicting tenants every day, just like always. And I know it's happening because I'm in the business. So don't let that scare people. Back to this though. See, that's one of those things you could call Legal Shield tomorrow for free and ask them that question, how it relates to California landlord tenant law or New Jersey, wherever you are. I'm for a fact picking up a phone call, calling an attorney could easily be a couple $100. Well, Legal Shield doesn't cost a dime. You know, that few dollars a month, guys, in a year's time will easily pay for multiple phone calls, letters written for free. I mean, the service, what they give you is ridiculous for what you pay. If you don't get your money's worth, I'd be shocked. I mean, the will itself, I mean, the will is probably $1,000 right there. So the point is I have my own personal family attorney. I have for well over 20 years, and I still have Legal Shield, okay? Because I want to be able to pick up a phone at the drop of a hat and get somebody. And you do. You know, I never waited more than an hour. I think they tell you 4 hours, but is it 4 hours?
They say 4 hours, yeah.
Yeah, I never waited more than an hour. Nope. Never had to pay for a letter to get written. And with properties, writing a lot of letters, right? So in any case, does anybody, so Beverly, you're on, and you've had it for 30 years. Where's Beverly Miller? Let me see if she's still here. Give me 1 second, guys. Gotta go to the right. Whoops. Here we go. Let me go back up to the top. Yeah, I thought I saw her. She must have logged off. I was going to have her give us any case studies. Is anybody else use Legal Shield besides me? Because I want to get like a case study, particularly for somebody in real estate as an agent or as an investor, or one of your clients an investor, if that's possible. Any case, we'll wait for somebody to tap in here, but any other final thoughts or questions? Oh, here's, oh, Beverly's here. My hand is raised. Sorry, Beverly, I don't know how I missed you. Hang on one second. I'm going to see if I can unmute you, which was what I was trying to do. Participants. There you are, Beverly. You're right up front. Okay, Beverly, you're unmuted on our end. You can unmute yourself on your end. There you go. Hi, Beverly.
Hey, well, I've had it for a long time, and I've used it. I used it for my divorce. I got 25% discount, and I've used it. I've had them to review contracts for me and write letters, and it's been. I don't want to ever be without it. I think it's better to have it and not need it, and need it than need it and not have it.
Beverly, do you sell it as well, or do you just have it as a membership?
Just a membership. I
See,
signed up to sell it way back then, way back 30 years ago. But I never did anything with it.
See, that's the power of it. It's such a good product that, you know, almost every MLM, you know, you just, if you're not selling it, you don't have it. And this is a product that people, you know, people that aren't selling it love it. And I don't know, one of my business coaches said to me a long time ago, they're like, you can either get more clients or more of the client. Isn't it better to get paid 5 times on every sale than just get paid once?
I think I was my membership number has 6 digits. That's how long I've been in.
All right.
I mean, I could think of another thing that's good for if you're a flipper and your contractor or your trade person is not performing to what's agreed upon. If they get a letter from a lawyer on letterhead, I mean, they're just going to show up the next day and solve that problem. And who doesn't that happen to?
Yeah. Well, I've got a situation right now. My son just bought his first house and did the inspection, got the disclosure, the owner's, seller's disclosure. And they saw right away, there's a couple of things that just didn't line up. Like the guy moved everything out of the house except one card table up in the attic, put up against an exterior wall. Nobody thought anything of it. Andrew moves in, moves to card table, and guess what he sees? The telltale signs of water damage coming from the chimney, right? So there's strike number one. Another one, the guy had tried to fix the chimney himself from the outside down below, didn't disclose that. Well, the big problem was Andrew was doing some gardening, pulled back some dirt and saw what looked like mortar, but not like 30-year-old mortar, like patchwork type mortar, where the stoop goes into the house and it goes down to the foundation. So it was like what we call a cutout in the basement. The guy covered it up, walled it all off in the basement with drywall and trim wood, made it look real pretty. But Andrew dug down there and found out there had an inspector come back and 2 engineers. So no, it's a foundation issue. And I could see from the pictures, I said, Andrew, that's going to be about $10,000-12,000. Sure enough, $12,000. So he's reluctant to do anything about it because his friends told him, oh, you never collect anything. The guy will lie about it. And I said, no, we're going to call. And so I'm going up there this weekend and we're going to take pictures and we're going to do this. And he's going to get his money back. But that's the kind of stuff that happens. And if you don't have that kind of protection, you're at the mercy of some other attorney that you don't know, paying them $300 an hour that may get the job run up. And now, he's for the cost of nothing, a letter and a phone call, we're going to write this guy first and then decide what to do from there. But in any case, perfect example of why you need legal insurance, just like you need health insurance, life insurance, car insurance, and property insurance, So for not much money. Hey guys, any final thoughts or words of wisdom, Tom or Chris, or instructions? Like what can people do here? Because Sean and Mo are already in the program underneath Tom. But as far as the specific directions to follow, instructions, what can you tell me? Anything up you can put up on?
I put my phone number and appointment. If you want to set an appointment with me, just call me and we'll sign you up, or I'll answer any questions you might have after the call.
Hey, Tom, I think you just had that to all panelists. So if you reset that to panelists and attendees.
Oh, thanks for that.
But yeah, jump in. I'm telling you guys, this is the biggest no-brainer ever. If you don't think that everybody that buys a house should have a will, and that you can't, if you can provide a $1,500 service for $25 a month, plus all of the other stuff that comes along with it, that's like the biggest no-brainer ever. And you're adding value, and they're gonna, I mean, people love you when you add value. I mean, heck, like this last week, my I had somebody on my team calling through all of our past clients, just telling them about, I think it was an HVAC repair guy that is going to give a discount on servicing their HVAC. So it's like literally just adding value to the people in our world makes them think of you, and think of you as somebody that cares about them, and therefore, the law of reciprocity. If you care about them, if you help them, the more you help them, the more they're going to want to help you.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Definitely a good value add. I mean, with the networking we have going on, this should go over pretty big. So everybody, go ahead and call Tom, set up an appointment, and have the discussion, and go from there. And then when you start to have your global investor group meetings in 4 weeks, you'll be prepared with another value add for them too. So, okay, guys. Chris, thanks again, buddy. Good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well up in DC. I'm actually about 2 hours from you right now, out in the mountains in Blue Ridge. So
that's awesome. Blue Ridge are beautiful, amazing.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys. And if I can be of any service to anybody, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I want to, I'd always love to help. But I'll tell you, Tom is the man. So yeah, he's great. And Gary,
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Gary, for the opportunity to present this to the team.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. See y'all. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you.